Hi, this is Steve Grames with Utah Outdoor Adventures, and this is the Spiral Jetty.
Something in the sound of silence makes me want to call your name. Angry sex and gentle violence, but to me it's all the same. You are not the one I think of when I have to think of you. Open-handed, smiling, candid, I'll do what you want me to. Give the little bird a cracker, warm her up with herbal tea. Grab her now and then you smack her, makes you want to think of me. Silence, quiet, empty, lonely, smiling down upon my face. Growing older, also homely, youth can never be replaced.
Here at the Spiral Jetty. Murphy's down there in the parking lot. As you can see, we are the only people here, and that's because there's a storm moving in, and it is in the 40s right now. It's supposed to drop down to the 30s overnight. Probably tell by the way I'm talking, it's a bit cold. We're going to build ourselves a nice fire and camp out here for the night. Listen to that silence. Okay, so just to give you an idea of the scale of this, the Spiral Jetty is 1,500 feet long and was built in 1970, April of 1970, by Robert Smithson, an artist. He hired contractors to build it. It's made of basalt, volcanic rock, which you can see everywhere here. This entire mountainside behind us. Yes, we have company now. This entire mountainside behind us, where Murphy's setting up our tents, is covered in this volcanic rock. But to give you an idea of the scale of just how big it is and how far out the Great Salt Lake is from here, here's our visitors. See those tiny specks right in the middle of the sun in the scene way out there? Those are people. So it's quite vast. It's pretty impressive. 3 years after making the Spiral Jetty, Robert Smithson was flying in a plane over Texas, scouting out another location for his next art project. When the plane went down, he of course perished in the plane crash. This is a monument to him as well. For 30 years the Spiral Jetty was underwater from the time a couple years after it was built until the early 2000s. It was completely submerged. And now, as I've shown you where those people are, you can go way out there because the lake levels have receded so much. It depends on the year. Some years are heavier than others. Sometimes the jetty is still swampy, at least. Maybe not as submerged as it was back then, but there you have it. That's the Spiral Jetty, a man-made work of art here on the northeast shores of the Great Salt Lake. Murphy and I are spending the night here. We're much warmer now than when we got here, and tents are being set up. We're going to build a fire, and jackrabbits are that way. We may or may not get some. We brought our 22s, so if you don't like to see bunnies get shot, maybe you shouldn't watch that part. I don't have a problem with it. Anyway, we'll see what happens. And here's what we're looking at end to end. Here's my car, the Expedition, of course. There's camp right up there, which has been set up in the ruins of an old cabin. Anyway, my battery died in the middle of my little speech, but here's our camp. Right up here, the remains of an old cabin that our campfire will be in, and my tent is in. Murphy's is off to the side. There wasn't enough room for both tents. So, we're much warmer now. Whoa, sorry, extreme close-up of Murphy there. And just a beautiful evening. Okay, so here's our setup. Here's the old cabin remains, just the foundation, as you can see. My tent and our fire pit, which is full of soot and dirt. So we're going to dig that out, make it fire worthy, right? Okay, so here's our pit. I dug it out a bit. It doesn't go that deep, but it's deep enough for our purposes. Murphy's getting something out of the car. We're going to have a snack, and then after our snack we are going to take the 22s, head that way, see if we can see any rabbits jumping around this evening before that sun disappears, and then we'll come back to camp and have dinner and relax in front of the fire. Should be a good time. So I want to talk a little bit about this gun. This belonged to a friend of mine named Gary Wilson, who unfortunately in his life became addicted to meth, was involved in a motorcycle accident and paralyzed from the chest down. And over the years it eventually took his life at a very young age in 2009. His father built this when he was a kid. The trigger guard is a gate handle. Very old gun, and sometimes it misfires, like a lot. But I still love to use it because Gary and I used to hunt rabbits with it together, and we had some great times most of the time, and it means a great deal to me. So I always bring it for sentimental value, not for functionality, because it's really not that great. It's a bolt action as opposed to my other 22, which also has some sentimental value. It's a Marlin 22, and it was purchased for me for Christmas by my mother. Can I see that for a sec, Moose?
Yeah.
This is that gun. My mom passed away in 2006, Christmas Eve, from cancer. So this means a lot to me too. She got this for me for Christmas, and she also lost her battle with cancer at Christmas time. So both of these guns have sentimental value. This is a semi-auto, so it's much more much more reasonable when hunting with it, and it's been a great gun. And so that's it. That's the story of my two 22s. So we're gonna hike down this little trail here. Last Sunday, my wife Joanna and I came up here, and as we were walking along this trail, we saw a lot of rabbits off in the distance running, and it's dusk. There's a possibility they'll be coming out.
There's one.
Where?
Right there. In front of that bush.
Shoot it. Wait, where? That big bush?
Yeah, right there. It's right.
Oh my gosh. Dude, shh, shh. Hang on, hang on. Yes. He's right in the middle. I got him. Don't miss him. Oh no. Get him now. Dude, you missed.
You missed?
Try it again. I can't believe he didn't run. Now. There we go. Did you film that over and over? How many shots did I put in him?
I don't know.
Just a baby. Baby Jack. Okay,
I need glasses.
there's one.
Need one.
Well, we saw a couple run but didn't get any more shots, so you can see how dark it's getting. Sunset, quite dark under the desert sky. So I don't know how well you can see me, but we're gonna head back, have some dinner, put on our headlamps, which make pretty good spotlights. See if we can spot any with our headlamps. Won't be able to film that though, it'll be too dark. It may be too dark right now. So we'll definitely film some campfire time and some time in the tent before we call it a night. Dinner tonight is Mountain House, rice and chicken. Well, you can see that. My camera doesn't seem to want to not be blurry. Probably my headlamp. Anyway, we're going to cook it on this rock right here by our pit. That's Murphy playing with our little walkie-talkies. You seeing if someone's on there? Yeah, I'm just scanning. Okay. Water. I'll need 2 cups.
Oh yeah, yours is a measurement, huh?
Yeah, that's nice.
You just have to chart up.
I need a windscreen, I think. And then put it down here. Well, as you can see, we got it going. It's a little windy out here. Had to block it with Murphy's backpack. Basically, all we do is add these 2 cups of boiling water to this bag, seal it up, and let it sit for 10 minutes or so, and dinner is served. They're really good if you've never had a mountain house meal. Quite tasty. Murphy, in the meantime, is having a meat log. Summer sausage. He does have a different kind of meal with him that's similar to mine, different brand. So while we're waiting for my water to boil, I just want to point this out. I'm going to turn my lamp up. We are sitting on the edge of what at one time, probably back in the 1800s, used to be somebody's home. This would be the doorway right here, that little break in the rock. It's pretty amazing to me. I'm using it as a bench to sit on in front of our eventual fire pit, which we've decided not to light just yet because we still want to do some exploring in the dark. And my tent's sitting right here in what may have been a bedroom. Maybe this was the living room. Maybe that hole over there was the fireplace. Who knows? Who knows? It certainly wasn't the garage. It's pretty amazing to think about the history that I'm sitting on right now. Pretty amazing. Let's see how our water's doing. Yeah, we're getting some small bubbles in there. Should be boiling soon. It's been going about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so here we go. We have a full rolling boil, as you can see. If I can get my light on there the right way. So we're going to turn off our stove. Oh, wrong way. Open up our meal. As you can see, it has like a Ziploc seal. There's usually a do not eat thing in here. You might have to look for it. A little moisture absorbing packet, so don't boil that. Here's what it looks like. Dry. Hopefully you could see that. I have no idea if you could or not. And we'll pour our boiling water in there. That's damn hot. Seal her up. Starting to drizzle on us. And kind of working around a little bit, and then we'll leave that to sit for about 10 minutes. And that's all there is to it. Now Murphy's going to make his. His is a little different. Getting water out of it. There you go.
I'm not fine, the top one.
Keep going.
I can't tell.
Yeah, not yet. Almost there. Little more, a little more. You're good. Well, let's see how my dinner's coming here. If I can get the camera right. Sorry, dude. Murphy's waiting for his to boil. And there's what mine looks like. If I can get the lighting right. Problem is I'm trying to look at it through the camera and I keep blocking the light. There's my delicious chicken and rice. There's a ton of it. And I'm going to eat every last bit. Because I'm starving. And so is Murphy.
Yeah.
However,
We're down to a tiny one.
Murphy's still waiting for boiled water, and here come some people.
It's boiled.
He's got a full boil.
Oh, that's so hot.
Yeah, they thought they would come here and make out. of visitors, see? Didn't expect someone here this late at night. It's the problem with going to a kind of a, even though it's remote, a touristy place, people can show up at any time. And hoping they just get annoyed that we're here and leave. Got it?
Yep.
So Murphy has how long? 13 minutes?
Yep, 13 minutes.
Alright, well, I'm going to eat mine. So our new visitors have decided they're camping out here as well, so we won't be shooting rabbits anymore tonight because I don't want to freak these people out. We're going to get up early in the morning and do it instead. So now I think what we'll do while Murphy's eating his dinner is get the fire ready, have a nice warm fire. Sound good? So for our fire, I have these are kind of knockoff versions of Espic cubes. If you know what Espic cubes are, they're a chemical tablet that burns really well. And I've decided I don't want to monkey with bushcrafting anything tonight, so we're going to light these two tablets. And to go with it, I have, this is my bag of dryer lint. Dryer lint burns really well, so you should make sure your dryer is always lint free so you don't burn your house down. We built kind of a little nest here. And then what I've got as far as kindling, I found some wood chips all around here from former campers, and also these sticker weeds. I called them sticker bushes when I was a kid. I don't know what they're called, but they're stickers. They stick you. So that's what we're gonna work with. A simple Bic lighter. Tablet lit. The point of the tablet is to keep it burning even when everything else burns out. So I probably better move my camera. There's some of our wood chips to get the flames. And we had to bring firewood because there's really none out here. It's all deserty weeds and sagebrush. So we're gonna get a good stack of these set up. I don't have very many small ones. I just have some really large logs in here, so we'll get these going first. Nice. There's a good one. Oh, we'll hold off on the bigger ones. As you guys can see, the fire took really well. It's burning nicely. Nice and toasty. Yeah. It's mine? Yeah. Nice. Oh, that's warm. guys, it's about 11 p.m. The day's over. Murphy and I enjoyed quite a bit of time in front of the campfire. Settled into my tent to keep warm tonight. We boiled some water and let it cool a bit. Threw it in our bags a little while ago. Made it extra warm, so my bag is nice and toasty. My sleeping bag. In my feet, my foot box of my sleeping bag, I put a couple of hand warmers. It's going to be in the 30s tonight. As you can see, I'm still in my fleece, only I have long underwear on, and also fleece bottoms, nice pair of socks, fleece hat. I'm toasty. It's comfy in here. It's roomy, not bad for a tent I bought at Target. It's been a good evening. Murphy and I just talked by a campfire for a while, and our neighbors over there that have decided to camp out near us have been fairly respectful. Hopefully are quieting down for the night. Tired, it's been a long day, and Murphy and I plan to get up at 6 to get a jump on the day so we can get some more fun in before we have to head back home. We have to be home by 10 or 11. Reality calls, you know. So right now I'm going to bed. I'm going to relax for a while, maybe listen to some music or read, and I will see you in the morning. Well, good morning, folks. It is 10 minutes to 6 in the morning. The sun's not up yet. Murphy is, though. He just woke me up a little bit ago and told me that his water bladder, he accidentally rolled over on top of it inside his tent, and it leaked all over. So his jacket that he was sleeping in is soaking wet, so he's using my jacket. And it was only 10 minutes before we were supposed to get up anyway, so we're going to build a fire and get this day started. I slept really well. I was warm all night. I put those hand warmers in the bottom of my sleeping bag, and this little bottle of water full of hot water is still warm. Not super warm, but it's warm, and it kept me warm all night. This is the best I've slept in a long time camping, so this is a good idea. I highly recommend it. Although I warped the end of it. I warped the end of it from the hot water, but this was 88 cents at Walmart, so it's not the end of the world. I'll just use it for that in the future. It's still kind of dark, so I won't be able to do a lot of filming till the sun comes up. This camera's not very good with that. So anyway, it was a good night for me. Bad night for Murphy. He's freezing cold. I'm going to get a fire started. Burn, baby, burn. It's the last of our firewood in the firewood box. And that's a fire. Whoa. Wow. You alright there, Murphy?
Yeah.
Nice and warm?
Yeah.
Happy sunrise. Welcome to day 2 of the Spiral Jetty campout. We'll only be here for a little while this morning, but we're going to make the most of it. There's our friend the jetty. And our neighbor's truck next to mine. Sunrise over the jetty. As you can see, it just came up. So Murphy and I are going to take an early morning hike with our rifles, and also to take in the view of the jetty from up there on the hill. Should be a spectacular view with the sun just coming up. We've gotten warm around our fire. We haven't had breakfast yet, but we're nice and warm now, and things are going better. So let's climb a mountain. So we're halfway up our hike. Here's the Great Salt Lake. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how many miles that is. Salt Lake City is that way. The Great Salt Lake is second in salinity only to the Dead Sea. So it's very salty. There are no fish. There are brine shrimp in the summer. Little tiny red guys, also known as sea monkeys. For those of you who've ever bought sea monkeys, that's what brine shrimp are. That's what sea monkeys are. They're brine shrimp, not the other way around. Anyway, quite an amazing lake. A lot of people that live here don't like it because it smells like sulfur at times. But I grew up smelling that smell, and it's a comforting home smell to me. Last night we could see boats out on the water way out that way. You could see their lights. And there's our camp right down there. Two red things on the left are mine and Murphy's tents, and the big white thing is the family camping next to us. So we've reached, since it started it was so, I told you, say so a lot.
Yeah.
We've reached the top, or what we thought was the top of the mountain here. Didn't take long to get up here at all, but as you can see, here's what we perceived as the top from our tent, and it goes up even further. And who knows after that. We're just going to hike through here, and we're going to look for rabbits or coyotes. I doubt we'll see a coyote. Coyote, however you want to say it. So watch out, bunnies, here we come. And I'm sure our neighbors next to us will appreciate the gunfire. However, they were up till after midnight screaming and yelling, despite the fact that we were right next to them, so I don't really care. Anyway, what a beautiful morning. Having fun?
Yeah.
Yep. You warmer?
Yeah.
Poor Murphy had a rough night. You're very talkative, Murphy. Here's our endless Great Salt Lake. It goes further even north. Here's how far we've hiked so far on our little hunt today. That's the Spiral Jetty right down there. Probably a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile. Murphy's up there on that hillside, that little speck in the middle. We've seen a few rabbits. We've taken a shot at one, but they've so far eluded us. So we're going to hunt a little more and then head back to camp and have some breakfast. I'm starving. Well, we're back at camp, as you can see. There's Murphy, there's the jetty, there's our car, my tent. We got a few more shots off at a pretty good sized rabbit just up the road a ways as we were walking back, but he was too fast and tricky, so no rabbits. But a fun hike and fun hunting. And sorry if you were offended by us shooting the bunny yesterday, but it's part of what we do. I don't always hunt, not a huge hunter, but jackrabbits, I've always hunted jackrabbits since I was a kid, since I was Murphy's age. Murphy's a grown man, but I was 19 when I started. So for now, we have to get back to reality, so we're gonna make our breakfast finally. It's probably 10 minutes to 10 in the morning. We're gonna have some oatmeal and summer sausage and hot chocolate and break camp and get the jetty out of here. That's Murphy shooting the last 2 rounds out of my gun out at the Great Salt Lake. That's right. The bottom is warped. Go. Hot cocoa. A water bottle because we forgot to bring a couple of things. So these are 88-cent water bottles. I don't care if I ruin them. Hot cocoa is served. Yeah. Stir that in and let it sit. Get all warmed up with our food and break camp. Look, he's already beginning to. He's over there in the car. We didn't walk the jetty or go out to the lake. However, last year, Murphy and I and Dylan and Jude, my two little ones, came out here and had some fun walking the jetty. And so here are some clips from that. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for joining me this time. Please join me next time. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Look for me on Facebook under Utah Outdoor Adventures with Stephen Grames. And once again, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, Murphy.
Bye.
Down here, and this is the Spiral Jetty. Amazing piece of artwork, if you ask me. Nothing but miles of Great Salt Lake Desert and lake. The white stuff is salty mud. What do you guys think? Is this awesome? All kinds of homemade crop circles, so to speak. This one is from space.
Look at this squishy stuff. What's that? We found salt.
You found salt?
Look, we did.
Ooh, this is squishy, huh? What is it?
Salt.
Oh. Hey, that's neat.
Yeah.
It takes a picture when I do that. What do you think, Dylan?
What's that squishy stuff?
Pretty awesome.
Yep. What's that squishy stuff?
That is salty mud. This is normally underwater in the lake. All of this. The lake is way out there this year. We're gonna walk to the middle of the Spiral Jetty.
We're on the icy stuff. Now
Yeah. Well, it's salt, buddy, not ice. This is
it sounds like
the
ice, huh?
end of the Spiral Jetty. Murphy and Dylan are taking the scenic route all the way around. Jude and I just cut across. So
Salt is
here we
getting
go.
in my shoe. There's salt on that rock.
There we are. Looking back at land. You guys gonna make it? So when this was made, the artist
Whoa, somebody made a giant footprint.
the artist
Rocky,
intended it to be out in the water. You had to walk on the jetty itself. Okay. Sorry, Jude's offering his commentary, but you had to actually walk the spiral to get to the middle because this was all full of water. And as time's gone by, the Great Salt Lake has receded immensely. Some years it's more full than others, but I haven't seen it very full in several years. It's full on this side. If we go over here, this is where the water actually is, but obviously the jetty is on dry land, beached. That's all the lake. Well, a little ways out there, but anyway. Don't get too close. It's sort of splashing. That's a pretty thick layer of salt. What did you find? Look at that. A salt encrusted stink bug.
I did a good shot.
You did do a good shot. There you go.
I got a little bit closer. How do you know that horse poop, Dad?
I've seen it before.
Hey, where's my corn stick?
I don't know.
Did you see the horse poop?
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 Baby, I before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch, but love is not a victory march. It's cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Well, there was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do ya? But remember when I moved in you and the holy dark was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. 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 Well, maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. It's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's cold and it's a broken hallelujah.